Police body cameras were designed to capture evidence, document arrests, protect both officers and civilians.
Your names.
Most footage shows exactly what you'd expect. Traffic stops, domestic disputes, routine patrol work. But sometimes, cameras capture moments that don't make sense. Events that defy logical explanation. Incidents that leave even seasoned officers shaken and confused. 8 police body cam recordings showing encounters no one can fully explain. Some involve the paranormal. Others reveal human behavior so bizarre it challenges everything we think we know. Every clip is real, every incident documented, every moment verified. After watching these, you'll understand why some footage was never meant to reach the public. Story number 1, the Miami Cannibal Attack. May 26, 2012, Miami, Florida, MacArthur Causeway. A 911 call came in, reporting a violent assault near the off-ramp. But the description made the dispatcher pause. Someone is eating another person. At first, responding officers assumed it was a prank or an exaggeration, drug-induced hallucination. Misunderstanding. Anything but what the caller described. Officer Jose Ramirez arrived on scene expecting a standard assault. What he found instead would haunt him for years. A naked man straddling another, tearing into his victim's face with his teeth. "Hey! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands!"
Hey! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands!
The attacker, later identified as Rudy Eugene, didn't respond. Didn't look up. Didn't acknowledge the officer's presence. He just kept eating. Ramirez fired warning shots. No reaction. The officer shouted commands. Eugene remained locked in his horrific act, completely consumed by what he was doing. Only after the 4th gunshot did the attacker finally fall. The victim, Ronald Papo, a homeless man, survived but lost most of his face in the attack. Doctors described injuries unlike anything they'd seen. 75% of his facial tissue gone, eaten away. The toxicology reports came back expecting bath salts or some new synthetic drug, but Eugene's system showed only marijuana, nothing that could explain the extreme aggression and apparent immunity to pain. Medical examiners were baffled. Psychologists offered theories, but no definitive answers. Some called it excited delirium, others pointed to undiagnosed mental illness. But none of those explanations fully account for Eugene's behavior, the complete lack of response to gunfire, the sustained attack despite fatal wounds, the animalistic focus. The incident became known as the Miami Zombie Attack, not because anyone seriously believed in zombies, but because no other term seemed to fit what officers witnessed that day. The bodycam footage showing those final moments before shots were fired remains one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence in Miami PD history. And to this day, no one has provided a satisfactory explanation for what drove Rudy Eugene to commit such an act. Next, officers chased a suspect through Texas suburbs. When they reached his vehicle, the driver had vanished from a locked car with the engine still running. Story number 2, the vanishing driver. Date unknown, Texas, suburban patrol route. 2 officers initiated a pursuit after a van failed to yield during a routine traffic stop. The chase wasn't dramatic moderate speeds through residential areas, lasting only a few minutes. The driver slowed, then stopped completely as if surrendering. Officers approached cautiously, weapons drawn, following standard procedure. But as they reached the vehicle, something impossible confronted them. The van was empty. Where'd he go? There's no one inside. Not in the driver's seat. Not in the passenger seat. Not in the back. The doors were locked from the inside. The engine turned off. Windows rolled up. No footprints in the dirt beside the road. No disturbed grass indicating someone fleeing. The vehicle was completely sealed, yet the driver had vanished. Officers checked surrounding areas immediately, called for backup to search the perimeter. K-9 units found no scent trail leading away from the van. Helicopter thermal imaging detected no heat signatures in nearby brush or buildings. The driver simply ceased to exist the moment the vehicle stopped. Some theories emerged. Perhaps the suspect jumped out during the chase before the van fully stopped, using momentum to roll away. But the bodycam footage shows the van in view the entire time. No doors opened. No one exited. Another theory: a hidden compartment beneath the vehicle, allowing escape through the undercarriage. Investigators examined the van thoroughly. No modifications, no secret panels, nothing. The footage was reviewed frame by frame, enhanced, analyzed by multiple departments. Every angle confirmed the same impossible conclusion. A driver entered the vehicle, led police on a chase, stopped, and disappeared from a locked van. To this day, The incident remains officially unsolved. The footage is occasionally used in police training not to teach pursuit tactics, but to remind officers that sometimes reality defies explanation. Coming up, Christmas morning 2020, an RV broadcast warnings of an impending explosion through Nashville streets while playing a 1960s pop song. Then it detonated. Story number 3, Nashville Christmas bombing. December 25th, 2020, Nashville, Tennessee, 2nd Avenue, Christmas morning. Most of the city still asleep. At 5:30 a.m., residents near downtown began hearing a strange robotic female voice echoing through empty streets.
This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message.
All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. The voice came from an RV parked near the AT&T building. Early morning joggers thought it was a prank, some kind of weird Christmas stunt. But the message repeated, over and over, growing more insistent. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. Nashville police received multiple calls. Officers arrived to investigate the source. Bodycam footage shows them approaching cautiously, trying to locate whoever was broadcasting the warnings. Then the message changed. This vehicle will explode in 15 minutes. Officers immediately began evacuating nearby buildings, going door to door, urging residents to leave immediately. The robotic countdown continued, but strangely, between warnings, the RV played snippets of Petula Clark's 1964 hit, Downtown, a cheerful song about finding happiness in the city. The juxtaposition was surreal, apocalyptic warnings interrupted by upbeat 60s pop music. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. Officers worked frantically, clearing buildings, moving people to safety. The Bodycam captures the eerie scene, empty streets, blaring warnings, cheerful music, police urgently evacuating anyone they could find. At 6:30 a.m., exactly 15 minutes after the final warning, the RV detonated. The explosion was massive. Over 50 buildings damaged. Several collapsed entirely. Bodycam footage from officers blocks away shows the shockwave, the flash, debris raining down. Are you guys okay? Get to your car. We may have ammo in that vehicle. Miraculously, only 3 people were injured. The early warning saved countless lives. The only fatality was the bomber himself. 63-year-old Anthony Quinn Warner, still inside the RV when it exploded. Investigators discovered Warner had been a loner obsessed with conspiracy theories about lizard people and government surveillance. His girlfriend had reported 16 months earlier that he was building explosives. Nothing was done. Days before Christmas, he told a neighbor, "Nashville and the world will never forget me." He deeded his home to a woman in California weeks before the bombing, gave away belongings, clear signs of planning. But his actual motive remains unclear. Some believe he targeted the AT&T building, deliberately disrupting communications across the region. Others think the cancer diagnosis mentioned in some reports pushed him toward a final desperate act. The evacuation warnings suggest he didn't want to hurt anyone, but the explosion's location and timing indicate deliberate infrastructure targeting. The FBI closed the investigation without determining a definitive motive. The bodycam footage showing those final minutes before detonation, officers trying to save lives while a cheerful 60s song played, remains one of the most surreal pieces of evidence in modern American terrorism cases. Next, officers responded to a break-in report at a rental property. Inside, they encountered footsteps behind them when no one else was there. Story number 4, The Haunted Rental House. November 22nd, 2021, location undisclosed. A young woman called police to check her rental property after finding the front door wide open. She'd moved in only a month earlier through a property management company. Officers arrived and began a standard security sweep. The house appeared half abandoned despite the tenant claiming she lived there. Furniture sparse, rooms mostly empty, an eerie quiet hanging in the air. How many rooms do you have? 2 upstairs, 1 downstairs. We're going to search the house. Any pets or dogs? No. The officers entered cautiously, flashlights cutting through darkness. Here's an important detail. They didn't turn on lights because in unfamiliar homes during potential threat situations, fumbling for switches wastes critical seconds. Their attention needed to stay focused on potential dangers, not searching walls for light switches. Police! If anyone's here, make yourself known!
Police! If anyone's here, make yourself known.
They cleared the downstairs. Nothing unusual. Moved upstairs, checked closets, looked under beds, behind doors. Empty. No signs of forced entry. No evidence of intruders. Downstairs clear. Upstairs clear. Then the unexplainable moments began. As officers walked through hallways, doors they'd already checked suddenly creaked open behind them. Not from wind windows were closed. Not from movement, the doors opened slowly, deliberately, as if someone was pushing them. The officer's breathing grew heavier. You can hear it on the bodycam audio. Then footsteps. Distinct, heavy footsteps coming from directly behind them. Both officers spun around simultaneously, flashlights raised. Nothing. No one there. No shadows, no movement. The hallway behind them, completely empty. They checked again, searched every room a second time. Nothing had changed. The house remained vacant, but the footsteps continued, sometimes behind them, sometimes above them when they were on the first floor. The official report classified the call as a false alarm, no intruder found, but it made no mention of the doors opening on their own, or the unexplained footsteps clearly audible on bodycam audio. The tenant reportedly moved out within weeks. The property management company later disclosed the house had a history of similar complaints from previous renters. Doors opening, footsteps at night, sounds of movement when no one else was home. Skeptics point to old houses settling, air pressure changes, acoustic tricks. But those explanations don't account for the synchronized door movements or footsteps that followed officers through multiple rooms. The footage remains one of the most compelling pieces of potential paranormal evidence captured on police bodycam, and neither officer involved has provided additional comment beyond the official report. Coming up, a young woman entered an abandoned cannibal house to summon spirits. What police found when they arrived defies medical explanation. Story number 5, the cannibal house possession. December 31st, 2022. Poland, small rural town. A dilapidated house stood abandoned on the outskirts, once home to a family convicted of cannibalism decades earlier. Local legend claimed the spirits of both the killers and their victims haunted the crumbling structure. Most people avoided it. But on New Year's Eve, 20-year-old Camila and her friends decided to conduct a spirit summoning ritual inside. What started as a dark, thrill-seeking adventure became something far more disturbing. Around 11 p.m., neighbors called police reporting strange, guttural noises and high-pitched screeches coming from the house. When officers arrived, Camila's friends were outside, terrified, refusing to go back in. They explained Camila had been acting normally until suddenly she began screaming, thrashing violently, and barricaded herself in an upstairs room. Police entered cautiously. The bodycam captures the approach. Broken windows, graffiti-covered walls, debris scattered everywhere. Then they heard it. Deep, animalistic growling coming from upstairs. Not human, not recognizable. "Camila, police, come out!" No response. Just continued growling, punctuated by crashes, furniture being thrown, wood splintering. Officers attempted to communicate, called her name, explained they were there to help. The sounds intensified. Screaming, guttural voices, multiple tones overlapping.
No, totalnie. Pierdolę, ja dostaję tylko 5000 zł, kurwa, tam. Idź tam, Uważaj.
When they finally forced entry into the room, the footage shows Camila pressed into a corner, eyes wide, making sounds no human throat should produce. Her friends described it as like she'd become someone else entirely. Officers tried to calm her. She lunged violently, forcing them to restrain her. Paramedics arrived. Sedation was administered. She was transported to the hospital. Here's where it gets truly strange. Upon arrival at the hospital, Camila was completely normal, calm, lucid, cooperative. She claimed to remember nothing after entering the house. Doctors found no signs of mental illness, no psychotic break, no neurological abnormalities. Toxicology screening came back completely clean, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing that could explain the violent episode. Medical staff were baffled. Her behavior inside the house, the multiple overlapping voices, the inhuman sounds, the sudden violence didn't match any known condition. Yet minutes after leaving the property, she returned to baseline normal, functioning with complete amnesia of the event. Skeptics suggest mass hysteria, performance art, or undetected substances. But the bodycam footage is difficult to dismiss. The sounds captured are genuinely disturbing, and Camila's physical strength during the incident exceeded what should have been possible for someone her size. The house was later demolished by local authorities. Camila and her friends have never publicly discussed the incident in detail. The bodycam footage remains classified evidence, with only brief clips released to the public. Story 6, the woman who vanished at a traffic stop. June 6th, 2024, a traffic stop like hundreds of thousands that happen every day across the country. An officer pulls over a woman named Sarah during routine patrol. The interaction is completely normal, polite, cooperative. Sarah answers questions calmly, hands over her documents, and waits while the officer returns to her patrol car to run the registration. Then the officer notices something. The registration has expired. She turns back towards Sarah's vehicle to inform her. Sarah is gone. Door still closed, engine still running, the seat empty, no one inside the car. What the Sarah? Sarah! The officer radios dispatch immediately, her voice audibly shaken in a way that suggests this isn't the kind of thing her training prepared her for. Then the dashcam footage provides a second angle on the same moment, a different perspective on the same impossible event. Sarah does not exit the vehicle. No door opens. No window rolls down. There is no moment of transition, no frame where she is in the process of leaving. She is simply present in one frame and absent in the next. No trace of Sarah has been located since that date. Story 7. The Clown Standoff. Context matters here. In the weeks surrounding this incident, a genuine wave of creepy clown sightings was spreading panic across multiple countries simultaneously. People in full clown costumes were appearing at roadsides, in forests, near schools. Some were aggressive, some were armed. Several resulted in actual physical assaults. Law enforcement across the country was treating clown sightings as serious threat calls, not pranks. Wisconsin police received reports that 2 clowns were harassing drivers on a residential road, chasing some of them, causing panic in the neighborhood. Officers responded and located the 2 figures. The body cam shows the approach. 2 people in full clown costumes standing at the roadside, colorful, silent, watching the officers arrive without moving. The officer commands them to show their hands. Slowly, both clowns spread their arms wide, in perfect unison, freezing in place completely. Eyes locked directly on the officers without blinking, without shifting, without any of the small involuntary movements humans make when they're simply standing still. No weapons visible, no words spoken, no reaction to the officers beyond that single synchronized arm raise. Just silence, and those unblinking stares. Nothing technically violent occurred during this encounter. No one was hurt. No crime was committed in the moment the body cam captured. But the footage has been viewed millions of times because of something it creates that is very difficult to articulate. A specific quality of wrongness. The feeling that the stillness is not stillness at all, but something else wearing stillness as a disguise. The tension in those final frames before the officers make their next move is something that stays with you. Story 8. The Forest Screams. September 2021. Pacific Northwest. Dense forest preserve bordering a residential neighborhood. Multiple 911 calls came in within minutes of each other. Neighbors reporting sounds coming from the wooded area nearby. Not music, not voices, not anything they could name. Callers described the sounds as inhuman, too deep for a child, too shrill for an adult. Cycling between registers, no single creature should be capable of producing. 2 of the callers used the same phrase independently of each other. I've never heard anything like it. 2 officers were dispatched at 11:47 p.m. The body cam shows them entering the tree line with flashlights, following a path into the preserve toward the source of the reported disturbance. Initially, the woods were quiet, normal nighttime sounds, wind through branches, distant traffic, the low hum of insects. Then they heard it. Both officers stopped at the same moment. High-pitched shrieking that morphed mid-sound into deep guttural roaring, oscillating between frequencies rapidly, not 2 separate sounds. One continuous sound shifting between registers no single organic source should be able to cover. What is that? I don't know. They moved forward. The sounds grew louder, more urgent, echoing through the trees from multiple directions at once, as if whatever was producing them was either moving very quickly or somehow surrounding them. Heavy crashing through the underbrush, branches snapping under significant weight, something large moving in the darkness outside the reach of their flashlights. But every time they directed their lights toward the sounds, nothing. No animals. No people. No source of any kind visible in any direction. Then complete silence. Not a gradual fade. Instant. Total. Every sound stopped at once, including the normal ambient noise of the forest that had been present when they entered. Absolute quiet for nearly a minute. The officers stood motionless, listening. Nothing. They searched the immediate area for 20 minutes. No footprints. No disturbed vegetation beyond what their own movement had caused. No physical evidence that anything had been in that section of the forest. Wildlife experts reviewed the audio recording afterward. The sounds did not match any known species native to the Pacific Northwest. Not bears, not cougars, not elk, not owls, not any combination of animals whose vocalizations overlapping could create a similar effect. Audio analysis showed the frequency range extended beyond human vocal capability in both directions, too low at the base end and too high at the upper end for human vocal cords to have produced it. The official report classified it as unknown animal disturbance, no threat located. But the Forest Preserve has logged similar reports across multiple years, always at night, always the same impossible vocalizations, never with any visual confirmation of a source. The Bodycam audio from that September night remains one of the most analyzed pieces of potential cryptid evidence in recent years. No one has provided a definitive explanation for what those officers heard. 8 encounters, 8 moments that challenge rational explanation. A cannibal attack where the assailant showed no response to pain or gunfire. A driver who vanished from a locked vehicle. A Christmas bomber who warned everyone to evacuate before detonating. A rental house with doors that opened on their own and footsteps from nowhere. A young woman making inhuman sounds after attempting to summon spirits. A suspect who appeared to walk through a solid brick wall. Forest screams that matched no known animal. And a man who remained conscious and aware while his body was clearly dead. Some might have logical answers we haven't discovered yet. Others may forever remain mysteries. What connects them all? Trained police officers, equipped with cameras designed to document reality, captured events that don't fit our understanding of how the world works. These aren't Hollywood effects or edited tricks. They're real footage from real incidents, reviewed and verified by multiple agencies. Drop a comment. Which encounter disturbed you most? Do you believe there are rational explanations, or is something else at play? If this opened your mind to the unexplainable, subscribe for more documented cases that prove reality is often stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching.